As Donald Trump prepares to occupy the White House again as the 47th President of the United States, all eyes are on him to see what policies he will be changing and how they would affect the country and eventually the rest of the world. Here are 7 things Trump said he will do upon assuming office. Migration. Trump has said severally that on his first day, he will seal the southern border and launch what he calls the largest deportation program in American history. Trump said he will bring back Title 42, a restriction from his first administration that turns away migrants who arrive illegally and does not allow them to seek asylum in the name of public health. Trump has also promised not only to bring back his controversial travel ban targeting Muslim-majority countries and struck down by courts, but to expand the ban to include refugees from the Gaza Strip and institute certain ideological screenings for all immigrants.
I will launch the largest deportation program in American history. We have to get all of these criminals, these murderers and drug dealers and everything, we're getting them out. I will put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail or kick them the hell out of our country.
Abortion. Against the wishes of some of his supporters, Trump said during his presidential debate with Kamala Harris that he would not sign into law a national abortion ban. In 2022, the nationwide constitutional right to abortion was overturned by the Supreme Court, which had a majority of conservative judges from Trump's first presidency. Trump said he would protect women whether they like it or not.
My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state.
Economy. Concerning the economy, Trump said he will end inflation and plans to pass what he calls historic tax cuts for workers and small businesses. This will include no tax on things like tips, overtime, social security benefits, and a tax credit for family caregivers who care for parents or loved ones. He has said imports from China could bear an additional 60% tariffs. Some economists have warned that such move could push up prices for ordinary people.
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID, and when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929.
Environment. During his first presidency, Trump rolled back hundreds of environmental protections and made America the first nation to withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement. This time, he has again vowed to cut regulations, particularly as a way to help the American car industry. He has consistently attacked electric vehicles, promising to overturn Biden's target encouraging the switch to cleaner cars. He has pledged to increase production of U.S. fossil fuels, vowing to drill on day one in favor of renewable energy sources such as wind power. He wants to open areas such as the Arctic wilderness to oil drilling, which he argues would lower energy costs, though analysts are skeptical.
I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best numbers ever, and we were using all forms of energy, all forms, everything.
Foreign policy. On foreign policy, Trump said he will end Russia's war in Ukraine within a day. Trump said he will meet with both Putin and Zelensky. They both have weaknesses and they both have strengths. He said within 24 hours, the war will be settled and it will absolutely be over. Trump also plans to stop the chaos in the Middle East and prevent World War III. Trump has also expressed interest in building a missile defense shield over the United States, similar to Israel's Iron Dome.
Under President Bush, Russia invaded Georgia. Under President Obama, Russia took Crimea. Under the current administration, Russia is after all of Ukraine. Under President Trump, Russia took nothing. We defeated 100% of ISIS in Syria and Iraq.
Culture. During his campaign, Trump leaned heavily into anti-transgender rhetoric, promising to enact restrictive policies during his administration. Trump said, "On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto the shoulders of our children.
On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age.
Retaliation. In May, Trump became the first former U.S. president in history to be convicted of a crime after a New York jury found him guilty of 34 counts of falsifying business records. He continues to face legal jeopardy in federal and state cases, which many believe will likely be dismissed or delayed now that he has won the election. Trump increasingly whitewashed the January 6th riot, going from calling it a heinous attack in the immediate aftermath to a day of love by the end of his campaign. He has said he wants to pardon many of the prisoners who were arrested, charged, and found guilty of crimes related to their actions on that day.
They viciously attacked our government. They fought with police. They fought with them much more openly than I saw on January 6th. What's going to happen to those people? What's going to happen to the people in Portland that destroyed that city?
But, sir, my question is on those.
What's going to happen to the people that tried to
those rioters who assaulted officers.
You have to
would you pardon
those people? What's going to happen? Oh, absolutely, I would.
You would pardon those?
If they're innocent.
Whether or not President Trump will eventually go on with these policies, and maybe more, remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the ripple effect of his policies will most likely be felt far beyond the shores of the United States. In Lagos for News Central, I'm Bernard Akili.